Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. This is Scott Reisch of Crime Talk. Thank you for tuning in. First on the docket, Ahmed Arbery. Gregory McMicheals has attorneys. Next on the docket, Suzanne Morphew case update. Third, an update on the legislator that was killed outside of her house in Arkansas. A terrible case from Georgia, and our dumb criminal contestant of the day. Let's talk about it. Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. This is Scott Reisch of Crime Talk, and thank you for watching. First, if you have not already subscribed, we would ask you to do so. Second, hit that like button, and always leave us a comment as to what we discussed. Now, Ahmed Arbery, that's the case where the gentleman was shot by the McMicheals father and son team. Obviously, they're claiming they're innocent, and they were justified, and they were doing nothing wrong. The district attorney who handled the case originally found that there was no reason to prosecute, but that changed after a video of the incident came up. That came after a video of the incident surfaced and went viral on social media. Well, the McMicheals reside in custody as of right now on a no bond hold. And Gregory McMicheals, the senior, the father, has obtained two attorneys. Laura Hogue and her husband, Frank Hogue. Laura Hogue and her husband, Frank Hogue, have been retained as the criminal defense team for Gregory McMicheal. They held a press conference today and basically said it's a tragedy, but we all don't know the facts yet, and they believe that there may be another video out there of the entire incident. The Hogues also wanted the world to know that Gregory McMicheals has been charged as a party to the crime, as the Georgia law holds that an individual who aids or abets or facilitates a crime with the same responsibility as the individual who actually perpetrated the crime. This is known as a accomplice instruction, a complicity instruction. And that's absolutely true. If you aid, encourage, abet, or assist somebody in the commission of an offense, you are guilty just like you had done it yourself. Now, the Hogues are also going to ask for a bond reduction hearing as it relates to Gregory McMicheals, and they let everybody know that they believe it's going to take a lot of courage on the part of the judge to give a bond on a homicide case, which is code for we're going to ask, but we're probably going to lose. The Hogues, on behalf of Mr. McMicheal, also believe that there may be some discrepancies in the video that went viral and was actually released. And once again, as I stated earlier, they think that there may actually be another video out there. Next on the docket, an update on the Susan Morphew case. Now, this is the case of Susan Morphew. She's 49, and she went for a bike ride up in Salida, which is up in Chaffee County here in the state of Colorado. Her husband was apparently in Denver at the time that she disappeared on this bike ride, and her last social media content was the day before, where she showed a picture of her two daughters. The police are not ruling out foul play. Her husband, a firefighter, has put up a reward of $100,000, no questions asked, for the safe return of his wife. A lot of money for a public servant, and their friends have also put up yet another $100,000. So now a $200,000 reward for information leading to the return of Suzanne Morphew. Let's hope she turns up safely. Next on the docket, last year we brought you the story of the homicide of state legislator Linda Collins. She was a legislator in Arkansas, and as it turned out, Senator Collins was found dead of a gunshot outside of her Pocahontas, Arkansas home on June 4th. Her body had been wrapped in a blanket. Rebecca Lynn O'Donnell, 48, was arrested later that month on the day of Collins' funeral. She was charged with the capital murder, abuse of a corpse, and tampering with evidence, and she's being held without bond as it relates to the death of Senator Collins. Now, she has denied these allegations and Miss O'Donnell is given the presumption of innocence. But Miss O'Donnell has even more trouble in this particular case. While she's been held in custody, she apparently devised a plot to recruit other inmates to carry out the slaying of Collins' ex-husband and his new wife, along with the judge and prosecutor who were assigned to her case. So now she's been charged with solicitation to commit capital murder and solicitation to tamper with evidence. The district attorney believed because of the aggravating circumstances as it relates to wanting to kill witnesses and prosecutors and judges, those are the aggravators that warrant a death penalty in this particular case. Now, most states do have factors that they have to consider when they do a death penalty case, but obviously nobody died in this particular case. It's solicitation. Obviously, Miss O'Donnell is not making very good decisions, which would also make you think that she is desperate. I've had cases where people in jail try to solicit the death of people on the outside, and it never works. Why? Because the person on the inside that you're telling things to is usually a snitch, or will be, because he wants to get, or she wants to get, her charges reduced and be released. So, Rebecca Lynn O'Donnell, for being that stupid, you have qualified as our dumb criminal contestant of the day. Even though the story in and of itself is interesting, you are our dumb criminal contestant. It's a little early in the program, but we'll come back to her. Next on the docket, authorities in Georgia are investigating a disturbing situation where there's the death of two sisters whose bodies were found Wednesday morning under a highway bridge with bags over their heads. The two women were identified as 19-year-old Vanita Richardson and 30-year-old Truvina Campbell, according to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation's been a little busy the last couple of days. The two sisters were apparently dropped over the bridge, according to the special agent in charge, and their clothes were apparently tattered, and spent shotgun shell casings were found near their bodies. Police were investigating a motive and who may have committed the crime. Both deaths were determined to be homicide. If anyone has any information about this particular case, hopefully they will contact authorities. And next on the docket is our dumb criminal contestant of the day. As we mentioned, Rebecca Lynn O'Donnell, 48, is in custody for the alleged homicide of her friend and state legislator in the state of Arkansas. Linda Collins was her name. Well, apparently Miss O'Donnell, while in custody, has asked that somebody in custody with her arrange for the death of her ex-husband and new wife, along with the prosecutor and judge. That is one of the dumbest things you could possibly do. And as we mentioned, the people that are usually involved in this plot are usually trying to get someone to say something or do something so they can go to the authorities and actually get a benefit on their case and wound up being a witness. I once saw a case, it was not mine. Defense attorneys like, this is a great case. The defendant in the case, it was a homicide case, he goes back to the pod and was upset that he didn't get his evening shower because court went a little long. So they moved him over to the next pod, whereupon he starts chatting up with a guy and confesses to how he did what he did, and actually was bragging that he's winning the case because they don't know A, B, and C, they being the prosecutors. Well, guess what? That guy in that pod by the next morning had gone to the DA, was being called as a witness, and was testifying against the defendant. So it never works. Keep your mouth shut. I've had cases, though, where people have tried to solicit that thing. They always gets snitched on. So as a recap, for the dumb criminal contestant of the day, we have Miss O'Donnell. Then we have the unidentified truck driver who drove over his boss's Ferrari for firing him. We had the case of Justin Moser, 32, in Florida, who was pleasuring himself as he drove down the highway and pleasuring himself in front of a police officer. We have the woman who on Mother's Day threw flowers at her husband that he had purchased for the kids to give to her mother. Apparently it wasn't enough, threw them at her husband and the police were called. And finally, the man arrested for climbing under a tanker truck filled with wine and drinking it. Ladies and gentlemen, you decide the winner. First, thank you for watching. It's been a very long week, and I'm sorry for this getting out so late tonight, but it was just one of those days. Would also like to thank everyone who has gone to Patreon. We're going to start next week. We're going to talk about the cases that YouTube won't let us talk about and will immediately demonetize us in greater detail. Hope you come and join us. Can't believe how many people have joined. Thank you. If you'd like to get the Crime Talk mug, the same mug that our Dumb Criminal Contestant of the Week may actually be claiming, if they're the winner and they contact us, that we will send to them at no charge, you can do it without actually becoming a Dumb Criminal Contestant. And any other merchandise, feel free to go to link to Teespring, and they will ship it to you as quickly as possible. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.